Caution, your paradigm is about to shift at the intersection of fact and reason. You're entering Kingston Country.
Today's 9/11, 2019. It's been 18 years since the 2001 terrorist attacks. We're still in Afghanistan. There are people that can serve in the military, I guess, starting this year or next year, that weren't even born when 9/11 happened. They're old enough to serve in the military. That just says something about how long America's longest war has really been. And yesterday, John Bolton was fired. Who is John Bolton? He's one of these mastermind neocon types, responsible for orchestrating, helping to orchestrate at least, the Iraq War, the axis of evil, the military-industrial complex's plan to take out Iran and then North Korea next. Of course, phase one, taking out Iraq, has been achieved. And somehow Bolton found his way back into the White House after serving as, I believe, a United Nations ambassador under W. Bush. But he's a shadowy type, working in the behind the scenes. He's kind of the public face, I would say, of the shadow government and military-industrial complex. Oh yeah, endless war. It's great for everyone, endless war. Why not? Keeps you safe, keeps the economy humming. Why wouldn't you keep convincing people to go to war in the Middle East? Pointless, stupid wars. It seems to be the one thing the Democrats and the Republicans can agree on, is this endless war, kind of stupid war. They all say, oh, no, yeah, we want to bring the troops home. They never do. Always finds a way to keep the war going, 18 years going strong. But Bolton was fired. It's a good step in the right direction. It's crazy how he became the national security advisor to Trump in the first place. If you ever remember, Trump, he ran on no stupid wars. That's one of the things I think attracted a lot of people to him, in addition to the idea of bringing back a sense of security to the country and law and order and that kind of thing, none of which has been accomplished. We are more lawless. We have more corruption. It feels like the swamp seems to be deeper. I mean, frankly, I could have gotten behind the things Trump was running on, but they haven't been achieved. And I have to completely admit, I'm a recovering Democrat. Where was I in 18 years ago when 9/11 hit? I was in a Berkeley public school, Berkeley suburb of San Francisco. You know Berkeley. You're well aware. So you have an idea. You know, what's the difference between heads and tails? You're still on the same coin. You're still stuck with the same coin. It's a paradigm shift. If you look at the left or you look at the right, and then you take a step back and you realize it's a whole damn thing is the same. When it comes to foreign policy, it's completely a mafia-controlled system, two-party system, where we are distracted by these social issues. Meanwhile, they're conquering and they're pillaging. And when I'm talking about conquering, pillaging, I'm talking about just lining their pockets, getting fat. They're fat cats up there. The biggest exporter is weapons, and that's where the money is. It's weapons. You can't sell weapons if you don't have any war.
This is Kingston Country.
These aren't the issues they want you to argue about, because they're not right and left. Because both the Democrats and the Republicans are controlled by the shadow government. By the shadow government, there's a military-industrial complex of people that stand to gain from endless war. And they'll keep you afraid. Whatever it is, Bolton's one of the chief architects of keeping you afraid. He's been replaced, and we'll see how the policy, if we can stay out of Iran, be a good thing. So, where were you? Where were you when 9/11 happened 18 years ago? And we're still in Afghanistan and Iraq and all around the world. Yeah, well, I mean, it's technically, I guess there's no major war But if you add up all the skirmishes, it's kind of an insult to the troops serving around the world when you say we're not engaged in war. Of course, we're engaged in war right now, and it's been continuous for 18 years. That money, by the way, could have been spent so many different ways to ensure the security at home. You have mass violence, mass shootings. And it's not just shootings. It's just anger and it's violence that we've never seen. What's causing that? What's causing that? Could it be lead in the drinking water? Wherever they test it, it's being found. It makes you violent. It makes you stupid. Lead is not a good thing. It brings about nothing good, having that in the water. And you're saying, we have to change the Constitution. How about just getting clean drinking water to the people, seeing if that makes a difference? Maybe if you stop poisoning people with a carcinogen that causes violent behavior that's documented and scientifically known to cause violence, I mean, maybe you would phase that out, right? Maybe you'd have money for that, to rebuild our infrastructure, our sewer system, our pipes, to invest in our public schools. So you wouldn't have to bus a suburban kid to an inner city school or an inner city kid to a suburban school. You'd have the money to make all the schools great. Not by just giving teachers more. You got to have lateral hiring practices. You have to be able to pay the teacher from Harvard starting out more than a teacher from a community college starting out to attract that kind of talent. You have to invest in the schools equally. Yeah, we can do it. I mean, you're worried. Okay, you're saying, well, maybe you're going to take away from my school to give to that school. The question is, are we going to bus your suburban kid to an inner city school? No. But some communities are doing it, and especially in Oregon, very liberal. I think it's in Portland. That's what they're recommending, the school district. And all of a sudden, these liberal parents are saying, wait a minute, I don't want my suburban kid to go to an inner city school. No, thank you. So then it's proving, I guess, when push comes to shove, that's not the liberal solution. That's not really what they want. That's not what we should want is for every school to be quality. And you do that by not just paying unionized a workforce the same amount, like a communist kind of thing where no matter how good you are, you get paid the same as the next person over. You should get rewarded based on your experience, yes, and based on what school you went to, based on how well your students are doing in your class, based on your performance evaluations, based on the principal evaluations, based on everything that you're evaluated probably in your job. I mean, teachers are evaluated. Don't get me wrong. They all know who the good ones are and the bad ones are. You know this. If you're a teacher, you know who the good teachers are and the bad ones. And you get a free ride. The bad ones are, it's going to make you pissed. That's not right. I'm not saying fire the bad teachers, but they shouldn't be teaching math. They should be teaching PE. And if they're really bad, they should be encouraged to do something else. You don't have to have a cutthroat policy where you scorch earth policy, fire all the teachers. That's not helpful for anybody, but you should be encouraging hiring of good teachers, and you shouldn't have it all be on seniority. So all of a sudden there's a budget layoffs, budget shortfall, and you have layoffs, and it's the new bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, teachers ready to go at it. They're the first to be laid off. Maybe the teachers that are slowing down aren't so good on the performance evaluations. Maybe those are the teachers that should be laid off. Just a thought. If somebody has to be laid off, is it all based just on how many years you've been working, or should it be based on how? You're saying, Dan Kingston, who are you? Who are you to talk about any of it? I went to public school. That's how I started. That's where I was, 9/11. I remember going to school that day. Eerie, no airplanes in the sky, and all the teachers trying to explain. I was a senior, I believe. Even as a senior, the teachers are trying to explain to us What happened? We didn't know. Why do they hate us? Though that was a question I asked. Why do they hate us? School bathrooms. It was graffiti. Nuke the Middle East. Horrible graffiti. The makeup of my school at that time was about a third white, a third black, and a third Hispanic, roughly speaking. And integrated because a lot of the African American students are coming in from the inner city, Richmond, and the white kids are getting to school from closer by communities. So it's very interesting how the busing plays out, because you have a group of the school students body, the student body that comes in late. Either they catch the late bus, or the bus is late, or for whatever reason, if the schedule runs late, and it's not easy to take a 30-minute bus ride wherever you're going. Oftentimes, they come in very late into class. It's always the students that are taking the buses that are late. They get detention, and they get, even if they don't get detention because maybe it's a lenient teacher, they're very behind the lesson plan, and it's not helpful. You should go to the school nearby your house, and we should make those schools quality so that there's an equal playing field for everybody. That's not conservative or liberal. That's just common sense. So it's good news Bolton is fired. I think Trump was making a statement, firing Bolton the day before 9/11, saying, hey, Iran on no more stupid wars, and we're not going to get into any stupid wars with Iran, I'm hoping. Who, by the way, do you think is the best candidate on the Democrat side to keep us out of the Middle East? It's a tough one. You know, Elizabeth Warren looks like she's going to be the nominee increasingly. And she's kind of a hawk. She's not someone who comes to mind as a no more stupid war candidate. Are any of the Democrats running on that no more stupid war idea, or has that been co-opted by conservatives? I don't know. See, they want to control us. They want the endless wars. They're going to find a way to get you to support war if you're a conservative, and they're going to find a way to get you to support it if you're a liberal. They pull the strings, and we're the marionettes. The politics of fear is the stage. That's how they get it done.
Kingston Country. You've been listening to the Dan Kingston Podcast.